What's up, you guys? This is Rob from Gay Guy Plays, and today on the Snapshot, we're going to be taking a look at the Tiberon, or Tiberon, or Toblerone Prime, whatever the hell you want to call this thing, because legitimately it has enough fire modes to cover all of the ways that I'm going to mispronunciate its name. Mispronunciate? Mispronounce. Ooh. This is gonna be a bad episode. Now, as always with these primes, I've left a link in the description box as to where you can find the relics or what relics they drop from, mainly because of the fact that I am not responsible enough to keep track of when things get vaulted or what things are attached to lists. I have too much to do with my life to worry about any of that. However, I do want to stress to you guys that this is a Mastery Rank 14 weapon, and I'm gonna be honest, this thing performs like a Mastery Rank 14 weapon. So if you guys are not quite there yet, you might want to consider picking it up in Zephyr Prime Access while it is still available. Alrighty, now let's start things off with a little bit of a stat comparison between the Tiberon and the Tiberon Prime. Now, clearly we can only compare the burst fire functionality because of the fact that, well, the Tiger's Bomb only has burst fire as compared to the Tiberon Prime, which has all of the different sets. So, as you can see right here, the critical chance has gone up 2%, which isn't anything major. However, its critical multipliers are where it gets really juicy because it goes up from 2.4 times up to 3 times, and that is really, really nice. The fire rate has definitely gone down, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. When you're firing the Toblerone Prime, you can definitely feel it when you don't have a fire rate increased mod in there, which kind of hurts a little bit. The magazine has gone up to 42, which is definitely handy because when you go into full auto mode, you tend to burn through your ammo pretty quick. So it's a nice little thoughtful thing there. Also, the reload speed has gone down to 2 from 2.3, which is nice. It's also got a status increase by 4%, which, you know what, in this case, pretty goddamn good. Its burst is burst trigger, as we know, and then of course the IPS has been shifted around, and this one is actually a little bit more important. It's got a boost to its base damage by like 2 points, which really isn't anything. However, the fact that they shifted up its slash and impact, because its slash and impact were really, really low before, but now we got a little bit of room for that slash to kind of like work in there and start doing its magic when we got some mods, right? It's really, really nice. So I'm definitely happy about that, and that is really kind of like one of the unseen advantages of, you know, the Tiberon Prime. Now, one of the things that I do want to point out here real fast, because unfortunately I don't have a Riven for it, but at this point in time, the Riven disposition is completely full. So it's a strong Riven disposition. I'm not gonna lie to you, veteran senses are tingling, and I do feel like it might take a hit at some point, but that's just me. Alright, I'm not saying that that's gonna be a thing. Enjoy it while it lasts. However, just between friends, I'm letting you know, don't be too attached to that Riven disposition, because you know, DE might take a look at their new Mastery Rank 14 weapon with the 3 different fire modes and be like, it got a strong disposition though. Really? However, you really don't need a Riven with this weapon. If I'm just gonna be straightforward with you, this thing is an absolute beast. Now, I did have 2 different builds for this, mainly because of the fact that, as you know, damage 2.5 is like looming over our heads. We don't really know what's gonna happen with it, what, you know, like what we're gonna lose, what we're gonna gain. So I did want to make a Hunter's Munition build, then I wanted to make kind of like a more if shit hits the fan build, alright? So let's go ahead and jump right into this, and let's take a look at how it performs against one of our favorites, of course, Mr. Billy the Bombard. So let's go ahead and bring him out here for the folks to see. So we're going to start with the burst fire. Now, the thing to note is the way that this is all set up between the burst fire, the semi-auto, and the full auto is that literally the things are spread out. So the burst fire is the most balanced of the two, actually, let's go ahead and take a look at the stats so you guys can see this more visually. The burst fire is the most balanced of the two, with a 28 critical chance, 20 status. The semi-automatic is more weighted towards critical chance, so it's a 30 and 18. So 30% critical chance, 18% status chance. It's also got a boost, which is 3.4 times to its critical multiplier. So this is the semi, definitely like all in for crit. Now on the other end of the spectrum, we have the auto, which is a 16% critical chance. As you can see, that's dropped down, 2.8 times critical multiplier, so it's definitely taking a hit there, but it's got a 32% status chance. So as you can see, burst fire, balanced. Semi, auto is going to be all about the crits, and auto is going to be all about the status. I mean, they're still hybridic, so you can still kind of work with the stats a little bit. However, as you can see there, the burst fire is a great balance of the two. And as you guys know, I really like burst fire weapons. My love for the Hema, my love for the Sicarus. There's just, I don't know what it is about burst fire. I think there's like this rhythmic kind of like almost tapping to it. And as you can see, like right there, no ribbon necessary. This thing is an absolute beast. But I want to go ahead and show, oh my god, that I'm a bad flyer, how each one of the different fire modes perform. Sorry about that. So now, if you guys have never used the Stradivar before, this basically functions very similarly to the Stradivar, to the Tsar, all of that kind of stuff. So what you want to do is you want to hit your Alt Fire button, and if you guys don't know what your Alt Fire button is, just go ahead and hop into your options menu. You can go into game controls and customize key bindings, and you can take a look at what it's currently bound to if you have absolutely no clue. Because I know consoles, had a lot of people asking on consoles, what is it, what is it? I'm like, honey, I don't play consoles, so I don't know what your shit is, alright? I don't know what it is. But basically, as you can see down below, and you'll see it in orange letters, as you click on that secondary fire, what'll happen is we'll toggle through each of the different fire modes. So now we're gonna take a look at the semi-automatic. This one is crit heavy. I personally don't like using this on its own, but because of the fact that we have Hunter's Munitions in there, it deals some sexiness, right? It deals some sexiness. Usually I would swap into semi-automatic if I'm trying to finish off something heavy, you know what I mean? Mainly because of the fact that I would use like full auto to wear down its like armor or whatnot, but because of the fact that we are using viral and Hunter's Munitions, that's pretty much how semi-automatic works, and it works really, really well. Just get those headshots in there. And as you can see, great thing about this weapon, very, very little recoil. This thing barely moves, and as you can see, just bypasses all of that armor using those slash procs, because now, well, we've got Hunter's Munitions on there, but in addition to that, it's got a more balanced IPS base. Now let's go ahead and move into the full auto, and let me tell you, this thing still shines in full auto too. Like, it's just an overall good weapon. Like, it's just so nice to just have something. And remember when I was talking about magazine size, the magazine size feels a little bit small. As you can see there, we did have to reload about halfway through when we hit that full auto. So that's pretty much how it performs. I'm really, really impressed because of the fact that it still kind of all feels, you know, Tiberon-ish. It still feels very, very similar in any of the modes that it's in. I like it, but I'm gonna get some heat because I know there are some Latron Prime lovers out there. But dude, let me just tell you, I feel like this outclasses the Latron Prime. I don't feel like it's quite, I feel like it's close to the Soma Prime. If it's not there, it's goddamn well close. If it's not beating it or there, it's goddamn well close. And then burst fires, I kind of like this better than my burst on, if I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know. I might be a convert. So this is one of the builds, and as you can see right here, we definitely use the viral with Hunter's Munitions to kind of make the most out of this. Some people may or may not agree with Prime Shred. I need the fast fire rate, and I like the punch through, mainly because of the fact that I feel like punch through also helps with ammo economy when you're taking on a cluster of enemies. So that's just a me thing. You could go ahead and swap that out for something like Argon Scope to really push the critical narrative if you want to, or even bladed round, you know, you do you. Whatever makes you happy, okay? It's gonna be your weapon. This is my build for my weapon. You can have your build for your weapon, whatever gets the job done. Now, I did want to go ahead and kind of show this off with Argon Scope, because of the fact that, you know, you're getting very little recoil, you have a lot of accuracy. It's got a 33.3 accuracy, which is higher than bows. And because of the fact that this is a hit scan weapon, oh, it's gonna be juicy. Now, is this as effective as the Hunter's Munitions? No, it's not. It's not, but it's still very, very good. So I wanted to go ahead and kind of give you guys a little bit of a preview of how this worked. You know, just in case something happens. Just in case something happens to our Hunter's Munitions, right? And you do have to keep in mind that, remember, this is a, what do you call this? We are going up against level 155, so this isn't necessarily the most realistic of situations. Only about like maybe 10% of you guys really play into that kind of time. And don't lie to me. Don't act like all y'all do this. Now, this one I feel like is going to hurt the most because this is semi-automatic. So we're really crossing our fingers, you know, for the right procs to come through, which is like, you know, of course, these slash procs and the corrosive procs like to work together and do some magic for us. And as you can see there, it is actually pretty effective. Now let's go ahead and move into the very last one, which is going to be the full auto. And I'll be honest with you, some days I just want a nice full auto weapon, not to have to like stress over, because sometimes, you know, you got to get the headshots with certain things. Burst fire makes your hands a little tired, but this one kind of makes a lot of use of the extra critical chance because you can refresh Argon Scope fairly easily when it comes to that. And if you want, swap into bladed rounds. It is all completely and utterly up to you. So all in all, the Telecom Prime is legitimately everything that you need it to be. Legitimately, if you want a status weapon and you just want to mow down enemies with semi-auto, turn off that brain and just spray and pray, we got that for you. If you want to make your headshots count and really go in for that crit damage, there is your semi-auto. And legitimately, for anyone who's like me that loves burst fires, we can ride that hybrid line down the middle and everything is all good and dandy. I also really want to point out the fact that I love the fact that this is a toggle for the different fire modes. Now, of course, it had to be a toggle mainly because of the fact that there are 3 fire modes, but for things like the Euphona Prime, sometimes it can get a little like wonky when you're, you know, you're doing your main fire, then maybe your finger slips to your secondary fire. Like, sometimes I just like the ability to just toggle it and just not think about it. Like, right now, you are a semi-auto. Done. Not kind of like, oops, my finger slipped, now you're, you know, a shotgun or whatever weird thing it is. However, I'm very happy with this weapon. I love the different fire modes. I love how creative DE got with it. However, I'm kind of scared for the Stradivar because this thing came for the Stradivar's edges and just snatched them all off. Because what you gonna do now, Stradivar? How are you gonna impress us now? The Tiberon came through with Mr. Tibbers and was like, goodbye. Regardless, that about does it for me for now. So let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. Are you guys super excited about this weapon? Do you guys love the fact that it performs in every way, shape, and form? Are you Latron users shaking in your boots? Because I know some of y'all were really trying to convince me to love the Latron, but this is kind of doing it for me. And all of you Burst on Prime lovers out there, y'all gotta do compare and contrast. Let me know if you're starting to get swayed over to the dark side. So that's about it for me for now. And as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch yo Toblerone. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.